Hello, you're watching QPVN News. I'm Anh Tuấn, and here's the headlines. President LUONG hosts Vice Chairman of China's Central Military Commission. Prime Minister CHINH successfully wraps up trip to Russia. Fish hunting in flood season. On October the 25th in Hanoi, Party General Secretary LUONG presented the decision to assign Mr. Chen Cẩm-tú, Secretary of the 13-Party Central Committee and Chairman of the Committee's Inspection Commission, to take the position of the permanent member of the 13-Party Central Committee's Secretariat. The event saw the attendance of President LUONG and National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, General Phan Văn Giang, Minister of National Defense, and Senior Lieutenant General Trịnh Văn Quyết, Chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army. At the event, Party General Secretary LUONG presented the decision to assign Mr. Chen Cẩm-tú, Chairman of the Committee's Inspection Commission, to take the position of the permanent member of the 13-Party Central Committee's Secretariat. Addressing the event, the top leaders underlined the Politburo's trust in Comrade Mr. Chen Cẩm-tú. This is a critical responsibility as the entire party is actively making preparations for the party congresses at all levels towards the 14th National Party Congress. The party chief suggested that Mr. Chen Cẩm-tú will promptly perform the new tasks, directing and coordinating the operations of the party's central apparatus to ensure harmonious, unified and synchronized of the entire political system. For his part, Mr. Chen Cẩm-tú pledged to show a high sense of responsibility and political mettle, inheriting and promoting the experience of his predecessors to meet the increasingly high demands of the party and people. On October the 25th in Hanoi, President LUONG received Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission of China, Senior Lieutenant General Zhang Yuxia. President LUONG affirmed that China is a neighboring country, a traditional friend with similarity in ideology, both led by the Communist Party. Vietnam always considers relations with China a top priority in its foreign policy of independence, self-reliance, multilateralization and diversification. President LUONG believed that the visit will contribute to further strengthening and consolidating Vietnam-China defense cooperation, particularly by effectively implementing the cooperation agreements between the two countries' ministries of defense, ensuring that defense relations continue to be a pillar in the overall Vietnam-China relationship. For his part, General Zhang Yuxia congratulated President LUONG on his new position as President of Vietnam. He emphasized that during LUONG's tenure as Chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army, he made significant contributions to promoting the cooperative relations between the two militaries. The Group trip on October the 23rd to the 24th by Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính and the high-ranking delegation of Vietnam to attend the expanded BRICS summit in Kazan, Russia, wraps up successfully. The success of the working trip demonstrates Vietnam's role and responsible contribution for global issues, contributing to promoting and deepening cooperation between Vietnam and Russia and other countries. The BRICS Summit and the expanded BRICS Summit brought together leaders of 36 countries, territories and representatives from 6 international organizations. Within just nearly 40 hours in Kazan City, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính had a packed schedule with 25 different activities. It's the first time the Vietnamese Prime Minister has attended the BRICS Summit, demonstrating the spirit of cooperation, responsibility, role and position of Vietnam for global issues. In his speech at the expanded BRICS Summit, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính emphasized the global, all-people, comprehensive approach while advocating multilateralism, international solidarity, and the building of a world order based on rules and sharing common responsibilities to solve unprecedented challenges. He proposed 5 strategic connections, which are connections of resources, connections in strategic infrastructure, connections of supply chains, people-to-people connections, and connections in the reform of global governance mechanisms towards greater linkages, balance, equality, efficiency, inclusiveness, and comprehensiveness for rapid and sustainable development. On the sidelines of the expanded BRICS summit, the Vietnamese leader held bilateral meetings with over 30 heads of delegations and leaders of countries and international organizations, including the Party General Secretary and President of China, the Party General Secretary and President of Laos, the President of Venezuela, Turkey, Turkmenistan, Belarus, and Uzbekistan, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Chairman of the Eurasian Economic Commission. Within the framework of the official visit to Vietnam of the high-ranking military delegation led by Senior Lieutenant General Chang Yu-sia, Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission of China, on October the 25th, the delegation visited the Vietnam Military History Museum and Regiment 102 of Army Corps 12. Senior Lieutenant General CHINH, Deputy Defense Minister, joined the delegation. Senior Lieutenant General Chang Yu-sia was impressed with the Vietnam Military History Museum in general, while sharing his appreciation for the documents and artifacts displayed at the museum regarding the period when President Ho Chi Minh worked in China and the historical connection between the Vietnamese Revolution and the Chinese Revolution. Earlier, Senior Lieutenant General Chang Yu-sia and Senior Lieutenant General Huang Sun-chien visited Regiment 102 of Army Corps 12. The Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission of China was impressed with the heroic tradition and achievements of Regiment 102, while highly appreciating the discipline and regularity of the officers and soldiers, as well as the green, clean, and beautiful landscape of Regiment 102 in particular, and agencies and units in the Vietnam People's Army in general. Coming up next, Vietnam and UNESCO partners for peace and sustainable development. Fish hunting in flood season. On October the 25th, at the Thăng Long Imperial Citadel Relic Site, the UNESCO office in Hanoi coordinated with the Vietnam National Commission for UNESCO and the Management Board of the Thăng Long Imperial Citadel Relic Site to organize a ceremony to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the establishment of the UNESCO office in Hanoi. The event saw the attendance of more than 200 delegates from Vietnamese ministries, departments and agencies and international organizations. In 1976, right after the country's reunification, UNESCO was the first multilateral organization that Vietnam established relations stemming from the aspiration for peace that the Vietnamese people always aspire to, opening the first door connecting Vietnam with the world, sharing UNESCO's mission of building peace in people's minds. With the support of the UNESCO office in Hanoi, Vietnam has effectively promoted many typical and effective programs such as the Decade of Illiteracy Eradication, the Education for All, the International Decade for Cultural Development, the International Decade of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, contributing to the socio-economic development of the country. The 25th anniversary of the establishment of the UNESCO office in Hanoi is a very meaningful milestone in the comprehensive, substantive, and effective cooperation relationship between Vietnam and UNESCO. Vietnam is also entering a new era, the era of national growth. In particular, Vietnam continues to promote cooperation with UNESCO, continuing the mission of building peace and security, minimizing disagreements, enhancing understanding, building trust, and promoting cooperation for mutual development. The Hanoi UNESCO Association and the UNESCO Center for Research, Preservation and Promotion of Eastern Cultural Values are co-hosting the Vietnam-China Friendship Cultural Exchange exhibition. This is a special milestone, not only introducing the cultural quintessence of Vietnam and China, but also an opportunity to further strengthen the friendly cooperative relationship between the two countries. The event marks the debut of the UNESCO Center for Research, Preservation and Promotion of Eastern Cultural Values, with the mission of preserving and promoting traditional cultural values of the East. The center is established to connect art and heritage lovers not only domestically but internationally, especially the cultural heritage of the East. The center will help our association carry out future cooperation activities involving Eastern cultures, especially those of China, Japan, and the Republic of Korea. The exhibition is a convergence of Chinese purple clay teapots and Vietnamese gold paintings, attracting a large number of art lovers. Among all Chinese artisans participating in the event, artisan Sun Yufei, with the quintessence of making purple clay teapot, a long-standing cultural heritage of China, has demonstrated the crafting techniques and shared interesting stories about the journey of preserving and developing this unique art. Through this event, I hope that more Vietnamese people will be aware of our culture. I'm glad to be able to showcase the process of making purple clay teapot, thereby helping Vietnamese people understand it more effectively. It's exciting. I'm impressed at all of the porcelain products displayed at the exhibition. Along with that, I can learn a lot of new things about Vietnamese. The exhibition not only honors the Eastern cultural heritage, but also contributes to promoting cultural cooperation between the two countries. The event will last until October the 31st at HUNGTING Exhibition Center in Hanoi. In recent years, the flood season in the Mekong Delta region is no longer like before, with low or medium flood levels. However, local fishermen in the upstream area still look forward to the flood season. For them, the flood season is like a gift from nature, with numerous fish and other aquatic creatures.
In the flooded fields of Phu Ho Commune and Phu District, An Giang Province, people are familiar with the image of small boats exploiting aquatic products in the flood season. This year, the flood level is high. From the end of August, the rice fields outside the dike is in the upstream area of An Giang Province, including the districts of An Phu and Phu Tân and towns of Tân Châu and Tịnh Biên are flooded. Many kinds of shrimp and fish move following the flood flows. From dawn to dusk, local farmers are busy to hunt fish and shrimps, then bring fresh aquatic products to markets. Within about 7 to 8 hours, we can catch up to 200 kilos of fish, mainly tilapia, by fishing nets. During the flood season, we also harvest a large number of hemibagros and walago atu fish. The flood season also helps many farmers in the Mekong Delta increase their income thanks to the flood-based agricultural model. This crop farming model in Phu Ho Commune and Phu District is developed with a modest investment of about $3,000. Crops are kept until the flood season ends, even until dry season and tide comes, as the people's demand increases. Raising crops based on the flood season is more convenient than models of the same kind in rice fields. We can utilize the water flood with many other advantages. The flood season in the Mekong Delta comes with all kinds of natural products, especially fish, shrimp, and crabs, and canoes and boats move across flooded fields with full of aquatic products. Those images are not just in memory. However, every flood season comes, people in the Mekong Delta flock to hunt for aquatic products of the flood season. It's a tradition that has been attached to the locals from generations to generations.
This is the end of the QPVN News today. Remember to watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.